5-minute trap.
Pandas, 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 pandas. I got broads on the head, tasting dope, being a panda. Pandas! Good morning, my pandas. TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. If you don't know, this is what we like to say here because, hey, the weekend is business. The weekdays are pleasure. Pandas, you know you love trading when you look forward to the weekdays here. Look forward to Mondays to be able to trade with the two-legged pullback community. Make sure you guys fill out that poll. Let me know what kind of day you think it might be today. Also, hope you had an amazing weekend. Throw in the chat if you did anything extraordinary. Also, if you just joined the stream, make sure you scalp that like button. And make sure you drop a GM in the chat with your location. Love to know where you guys are from. Good morning, guys. My World, good morning. Bernadette, good morning. Day Trading, good morning. Hassan, good morning. No Trigger, good morning. Speedy Boy, good morning. Zero Cool, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Gary Guthford from Arkansas. SW Blaze from Chicago, good morning. Frank Angelo, good morning. Greg T, good morning. H Cal, good morning. Melissa, welcome back. We already have something peculiar going on, and we have a gap that most likely wants to be filled, but we'll see. I mean, these gaps, the funny thing is, typically these gaps fill within the day, but the last couple weeks starting to make me question if that is as reliable as I typically think it is, because the last couple of weeks they have been multi-week gaps even on the futures, and yeah, this is a weekly gap. You know, this will be a weekly gap here if it doesn't get filled today, and there's a gap on the weekly. That means it has a week to fill, so it could be anytime this week. Tyler I got my concealed carry this weekend. Let's go. I'm a believer of the Second Amendment. So, congrats. Do I think there's room for some, gun control reform? Sure. There's always room for reform anywhere. But I just think it's important. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Micro Scalper, good morning. Richard Harris, good morning. Carl Herman, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Reloading my historical here. I feel like something's going on. Now, there's no need for government to reform Second Amendment. Sure, you don't have to like change the actual amendment, but I think I guess the debate is, if you're gonna create like restrictions, who's controlling that, and how far the restrictions go, and who decides really. I mean, there are already some precautions, but I think like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, yeah. I'm not the one to create the policies, but I feel like there could be some room there, regardless of how you feel about the Second Amendment. Lafta says, funny, no gun zones always violated by the bad guys. Yeah, I guess that's a typical thing. It's like, well, Chicago has like some of the the tightest gun control policies, and yet they have the highest gun violence. And so it's like, which policies really are the people who are going to violate them really going to follow? And yeah, what what is it? Who knows? Good morning, guys. Good morning. Uma, good morning from Boston. I've been to Boston recently. But I only stayed really like a day there. I'm sure I could have spent more time. But went to Boston and I wanted to visit the diner from Good Will Hunting. And I found out that I found some things that kind of like little ruined it for me. The scene with the diner in Good Will Hunting, they actually didn't really film it. They partially filmed it actually in Boston, but actually was like a bar like in another place, like in Canada or something. And yeah. And also, I think the original bar that the one they did film it in, it's like closed down now. So, did you go to Louis Lunch in Boston? I did not. I went to this like sandwich place in Boston. They had like really amazing like breakfast sandwiches. I'll have to look at it. I forget what it's called. Oh, the first hamburger. I don't know if I really want the first hamburger. Wasn't it like in pieces, like between two pieces of like white bread? And I was really thirsty there. I was trying to get into what's it called? Neptune oysters, something like that. Also, was it Mike's Pastry? What was it called? They had like really good cannolis. Just just really touristy stuff where like this is super long lines. And I have this channel currently forming here, and we broke it, became below it, and now we are finding ourselves with a two-leggy here forming. I still see this gap here. Basically, this red line I wanted to touch today, or I'm assuming it's going to touch sometime today. But I mean, look at the daily chart. Like, what is going on here? This daily chart, quite a wild ride. And you know, you're thinking like, if this was any other chart, you're just thinking maybe like, you know, why would I ever go short here? Just any opportunity to go long, I'll try to take it. You know, it's obviously in an uptrend right now. And the spot where I thought it would reverse, which is like a two-legged up to the top of the trading range, it doesn't reverse. Instead, it just breaks out strong bull bars with follow-through. You know, pause bar, then follow-through. So it makes me feel like we have more room to go up here. And until we get signs of a reversal, I'm not thinking it's going to go down. And it's just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible move here. We could hit this trend line up here. This is the daily chart, by the way. And if you want to know what chart I'm looking at, you can look at the top left of your screen to see the time frame. Antoine asks, do I recommend Al Brooks? Yes, 100%. There's a link in the description if you want to use it, and it's an affiliate link, so it does help me. So appreciate if you do use it. You don't have to use it, but I'm just letting you know, if you want to help a panda out, it's there. Just watching. Yeah, for the price, it's unmatched. The Albrooks course, the amount of material and content you get, basically him just really trying to articulate every single price action idea to you know, to anyone who purchases his course. It's kind of like it's kind of like a, what is it called? It's no frills, you know. Never once is he like, you know, this is the magic setup that will make you a millionaire. It's more like everything is a probability. Everything can fail, and you know, and this is what is happening behind the scenes, behind all these bars. And if you can understand that, then hopefully it can inform you on your trading. And you know, he does help you with certain setups that he likes a lot. And but most of it is just like just reading the market and understanding that the market is so diverse, and it's just really like almost anything can happen in the market. But he says with these things, commonly it does do this, but also commonly it does fail, and people trade the failures, right? And so people wait for the failures. But regardless if you enter the failure or not, he says this is how you do the trade. This is how you do your setup. And you have to understand the trader's equation is basically used in every buy and sell in the market. So if you don't know the trader's equation, then I would highly recommend you look it up. But here we try to keep things simple as possible and look for two-legged pullbacks with trend or in a trading range. We also look for reversals and traps. So those are the three things we really look for. And right now we are in a downtrend, but starting to turn to a trading range, as you can see, going back and forth. The 20 EMA, right? 20 EMA is no longer acting as a strong resistance, right? Strong resistance here. It might close above it once, but you know, the next bar closes beneath it, closes above it once, closes beneath it, closes above it a couple times now. Again, closes above a couple times now, and so starting to think that the 20 EMA is being a little less of a resistance at this point. You can also see the trend. We already have a break of trend to new low, and now we're above the 20 EMA, so this could be a reversal area, and market just opened pandas. I mean, I want to trade the reversal here. What can I say? Trap trade to the long side. With a breaker trend to new low. Inside bar, right? So instead of giving us the setup that we would have liked, which is the second entry short, the market was stingy and gives us a inside bar, and the breakout of that bar was the failure. So I was looking for something like this, a failed second entry short where it actually breaks beneath the previous candle's low, triggering the short, and then waiting for that trap to reverse because we're clearly above the 20 MA now. Multiple bull bars in a row. We have a breaker trend to new low. So we're looking around this area, you know, with for a reversal, and that's what's happening. But we didn't get the setup, and so I skipped it, and I'm moving on. Especially this close to the market open, kind of wanted to make a couple candles here to kind of get maybe a good idea of the market cycle of the day. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Make sure you scalp that like button. A lot of you guys think it might be a bear trend day today. We shall see. In my opinion, daily chart. I mean, we can come back into trading range, I guess. But breakout with follow through? Trap does trigger here. But in my opinion, the trap already happened here. So I'm skipping this one. Plus it's far away from 20 MA. Also hitting 240 SMA. So I'm just, you know, not a good reason for me to go long right there. Maybe with a two-leggy, I might go long. Thinking we're in an uptrend now. And we have, you know, so many bull bars, no pullbacks yet. So this might be the first pullback in this uptrend. Look for a second entry long here, perhaps. If you look into higher time frames, you know, you can be a little more cautious because we broke beneath the 20 MA. And now we're at the 20 MA. First hit since the break below it. So we could actually have a nice push down here. The 5-minute chart. Typically I don't like to look at the 5-minute chart until a couple bars are formed after market open. So those who like took this trade, who went long here, super risky trade, you're still in it. Actually, you have your stop loss hasn't been hit, and potentially you're actually able to scalp out. You know, 1 point scalpers already came out of that trade. Just waiting for our setup. We look for two-legged pullbacks. If you don't know, that's what we're doing here. Ralph Gruns, welcome. Wayne Bicknell, good morning. Welcome. Two-leggy. The only problem here is a 240 SMA possibly could act as resistance here. It actually is confluence with the 20 EMA. But notice a 10K chart having a big trading range here, and there's also a gap that needs to be filled. So like I wouldn't be surprised if we fill this gap. It's about 15 points away. No entries for me here. Just watching. Richard Harris, putting you in timeout. You're kind of flooding the chat here. I like Richard Harris, but this is a little too much right now. Keto, good morning. Just waiting. This is actually a second entry long here, but it's hard to take this trade, in my opinion. It is because you're hitting the top of these pivots here. These can all act as resistance, plus the 240 SMA, plus the 20 EMA on the higher time frames. Roel, good morning. JS, good morning. Welcome, guys. Second entry long here. If I were to be honest here, I'll skip it just because it's not really touching a key area. I mean, you could make a case that we have maybe multiple failures down here and we can try to go long. But to me, you know, I'm just gonna sit on my pause. I'm not that eager. Let's just say I'm not thirsty here. Just waiting for an actual good setup. It is a second entry long, but it's happening in this like really tight channel. You know, where the top of it can act as resistance, essentially. The second entry long does trigger here. Second entry short about a trigger, trap trade. You could consider this like a break a trend to new high with a triple top, but for me, still little. You know, I don't like to go. I like to be on the right side of the 20 EMA if I trade, and especially not enough room to the 20 EMA. 20 EMA can always act as a support or resistance. Maybe go long here. Possibly go long here. Right, we're touching the 20 EMA here, and it's a second entry long. It's just very choppy, in my opinion. Signal bar, okay, outside bar reversal. You know, I still don't like how choppy it is. I don't like the amount of overlapping bars there are, but I like the bounce off the 20 EMA here. Could give you a nice push up. It's just a really terrible looking price action. And basically push up, kind of creating like this bull flag type, you know, pattern here. Possible failed breakout. You could trade this as a failed breakout to come back into the trading range, but sitting on my pause because the bias is actually bullish. I would be more eager to do the failed breakout trade if it was a failed breakdown in the uptrend. But right now, in the uptrend, it's hard for me to go short here. Just watching, you know, pretty bad price action right now. It's just too many overlapping bars. Another inside bar here. Outside, inside bar. Breaks out to the upside. I'm being patient. I have no reason to really enter trade right now. Yeah, we are very close to 10,000 subs. It'd be cool if we hit it during stream. I mean, just no way I can guarantee that, but about 74 subs away from hitting that 10,000 sub goal, and I'm really excited about it. Mainly because it's a chance for me to give back to you guys. I have a lot of things lined up for it, and I'm really excited. So make sure you scalp that like button, but also sub if you haven't. Get closer to our 10K sub special. Also sub so you guys can know when I will announce which stream will be the 10K sub special. I first want to reach 10K, and then once I hit it, I'm going to put a post up saying, okay, the next stream will be a 10K sub special. And, you know, so hopefully you guys are ready. So the trading range, right? Failed breakout of that trading range, and then comes back into the bottom of the trading range. Trading range marked by the trading range indicator. Starting the trading range back here, and now showing us that, you know, we're at the top, now we're at the bottom. So being pretty accurate for us for here. And good thing it was there, because prevented me from going long here, which I would have missed the scalp and got trapped here and got stopped out on this candle. So just being patient. So that's why patient pays. You know, patient also helps you not lose money. So just watching, getting choppy. Price action during the streams have been horrendous the last couple weeks. It sucks. Just, what can I say? It's just bad. And this is kind of continuation of that. You know, the opening hour, you expect it to be very, like, I don't know, dynamic and volatile, but man, it just turns into this. And what can you do? Maybe it's just summer hours or summer session. Brian Melton, do appreciate it.
5-minute trap.
DX says probably slow because of upcoming announcement. The big news coming up. 10,000 subs. But that does remind me. Let me check the news. Do we have news today? No news today. This week, Wednesday, core retail, 8:30 a.m. And okay, we got FOMC. We have an FOMC this Wednesday, and that's at 2:00 p.m. That's it. Wednesday's a big day. Just watching here. I mean, at this point, you're not trading anything. You're just waiting for a trend to appear, and any trade at this point will really be a breakout trade. So, unless you're trying to trade the failed breakouts, but at this point, I'm just sitting on my pause because I'm recognizing right now that this is not a good place to trade two leggies. So I'm just sitting on my pause here. Let's look at the higher time frames here. Higher time frames. It looks like it wants to make a second leg up here on the 10K chart, 5-minute chart. Okay, I mean, it looks bullish, right? When you have the first few bars looking at like this, it could be potential for a bullish move. We do have yesterday or Friday's close to fill here. Finally getting a little breakout here, and again, this gap may fill today. You know, it's very common for the gaps to fill, especially on the futures charts. You futures charts, it's opened. It's a 23/5 market, and so that means it's open 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so it's just when there's gaps in the futures market, they usually fill very quick because they're pretty rare. So here's an actual gap here. If you guys see the close, and the gap, comes down and never fills. Never fills. Doesn't fill in the overnight session. Just continues to push down. But now we're kind of finding ourselves having a little reversal here, going towards the direction of the gap. And so you're thinking maybe it'll get to the gap. Chair Powell, hopefully he's subscribed to this channel so we can teach him a little bit about economics. Oh man, that is probably one of the most conceited things I've ever said. But yeah, I mean, the monetary policies that we've been practicing are quite reckless, if you ask me. But hey, if you have infinite money, why not? Why not do the incredible? Fortune favors the brave. Maybe Powell took a page out of Matt Damon's book. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening here. Two pushes up here. The thing is, like, when you look at the daily chart, it does really look like we are just on a massive bull move. And I just come to terms with just never fight the Fed. The Fed is raising interest rates, in my opinion. I don't think any bull run could really go that far. But what do I know, really? I mean, it's just my experience where, I've tried to fight the Fed before and I've been burned. And so, the bull run for the last 10 years, the Fed's never raised maybe raised interest rates once, but really they were really loose monetary policies. And so personally, I think that's what caused this economic, at least the stock market, to just go on this bull run that, has never really been seen before. And, and for people who try to fight the Fed, got burned. So I learned from my mistakes, just never fight the Fed. If they're saying they're raising interest rates, I believe them. And I believe, they're not, especially with the talks now where, at least from the White House, they're trying to say we're not in a recession, right? So there's no reason to do anything to try to prevent recession, which is what you typically do, right? When you lower interest rates, when you have looser monetary policy, it's for recession, it's to stop recessions and to help get out of recessions, to stimulate the economy. But if the White House is saying we're not in a recession, no, this is not even in sight, apparently. And people struggling to make ends meet, don't worry about them, right? Don't worry about them. It's unemployment is, it's very low. So, there's no reason for us to try to stimulate the economy because the economy is doing great. And, for me, it just makes me even more, I don't know, worried, but it makes me more convinced that the Fed will continue to raise interest rates. And, yeah, so we'll see. What do I know, though? What do I know? I'm a panda that lives in a bamboo forest. I mean, the only inflation I care about is, if these bamboos can grow. That's the only inflation I want. obviously bouncing off the 20 EMA here. That'd been our first entry. It is a trap trade there, but yeah, I wasn't thrilled about it. Wasn't thrilled about it. There's a gap here actually. I'm gonna mark this area. Zap Perlick asks why were all Richard Harris messages deleted? I actually didn't want to delete them necessarily. I just put Richard Harris in timeout because he was like spamming the chat like 20 messages in a row. So I just put him timeout, but I didn't know that would delete all his messages. But you know, the timeout should be over soon. I feel a little silly because I think I should have kept this trend line here. It might have given me more reason to go long there off the 20 EMA. I was just thinking maybe possible any of this would have been break of trend. It's a new high, thinking we can reverse, but we're really close to filling the gap. And we can bounce off the gap if we do fill it. But, I mean, the daily chart, there's almost nothing that really is stopping us from continuing to go up on the daily chart. Very close to filling that gap, which is this red line basically. I just put a poll up. Just curious. How many attempts did it take you to get funded with Apex? If you are funded with Apex, of course, if you don't do Apex, then don't worry about it. But if you are doing Apex, this is almost free money. I almost just want to buy anywhere here, but I would like a small pullback before I buy, but it is what it is. I almost just want to buy here, thinking we're going to fill this gap, like 99% chance to fill the gap. If you're not funded yet, then you can say how many attempts you tried so far. Let's say. If you don't do Apex, you maybe write, you can fill out how many have you done so far. But if you are funded, how many did it take you to get funded? I'm going to go long here because we're so close to filling this gap. I think we're just going to fill it here. And Do not copy my trades. I mean, it's a little overextended, but it's just so close to the target here. I'm gonna try to get a scalp if I can. I might be a little preemptive here as well. If we finish like on a bull bar. In this trade, preemptively enter that, looking for 2 points to the gap. Do not copy my trades. And in any case, I would most likely just scale in here. We touch the gap. I like it to fill it. I like to get out of this trade if I can. I like to get filled here if possible. It might reverse on me. That'd be sad. Touches the gap and bounces right off of it. Does fill it though, technically here. Filled. Doesn't fill me. It touches my target but doesn't actually fill me. Unfortunately, it might get me here, which I'm completely fine with. I almost want to, you know, scale in here thinking that we'll probably come back up to fill again, but who knows? I'll just take the hit and just move on. Re-enter with another entry. Interesting. It's starting to reverse a little bit, but yeah, I want to be filled here. I may skunk this because it's taking too long, but you have to make your decision here. Do you want to just, you know, do you want to skunk it here? You can skunk it. Or do you want to scale in? If you want to scale in, you got to make the decision now. Do I want to scale in thinking we can bounce back up? Oh, there it is. Let's go, baby. Easy peasy, easy money. Let's go, baby. If you want to know what kind of trade this was a failed second entry short to a clear target filling the gap. It's kind of like free money. You know, like, okay, if you're going to give me free money, I'll take it. And got that free money, so. You can see what the trap trade here, the magenta box showing us as a trap. It is far away from 20 MA, but so close to a target, like a magnet, that I was willing to take the risk there, thinking it's well worth it. All right, Richard Harris is back. Welcome back. So we fill the gap, and we break Friday's high. We already uptrend. Now it's in a difficult spot because we are bouncing off resistance here, and we're making a two leggy that who knows. Making a two leggy here, but typically when you bounce off a resistance like this, I don't like to go long into it, especially when your 10,000 tick chart creates a bar like this. Strong bear bar ending on its low. The 5-minute chart basically made a two-legged pullback. A, B, C. It's just a two-legged move on the 5-minute chart. So we do have a key area here and also 20 MA, but we're bouncing off of resistance, and also the 20 MA is starting to flatten out here. It's a good signal bar actually. I'm gonna sit on my pause. I don't mind missing this. It's off a key area and also off our trend line, but I don't like how it bounces off a resistance like this. I don't like how we're close to resistance area, trying to go long right into it. Now if we're like well above it, proving that this is no longer resistance, then I'll be a lot more confident entering here. But the risk is not that large either. It's about 2.5 point risk if you enter this trade. You can have a good reason to enter this, but I'm gonna sit on my pause and I'll miss it. I'm fine with that. I just don't like to go opposite of bouncing off of resistance. You know, if you're bouncing off if resistance is acting as resistance, then I'm a little more hesitant. You know, support acts as support, I'm a little more hesitant. This does trap here, and you just got stopped out if you enter long there. And you know, this is why I don't like to enter when you bounce off a resistance. You know, I don't like to go long into it, especially when you bounce off this, you know, this distinctly. So saved ourselves a loss there and then going long, especially with a good signal bar. That's tough. Also hitting our trend line, 20 MA. 20 MA started to flatten out a little bit there, and able to make a scalp going short here. Do I think we're in a downtrend? Hard to say. We need follow through on this bar. Currently no follow through. TIZ asks, is this SPY? Kinda. You really have to ask the question, is SPY this? This is the S&P futures, and S&P futures basically control SPY. SPY is a derivative of the SPX. Ed is in the chat. Welcome, Ed. Yeah, Ed is he is makes quite a splash, we'll say, in the Discord. The two-legged pullback Discord. So a lot of you guys finish in one try, like one try or a little bit more than one try, around one try. A lot of you guys are on your 20 plus already, you know, or took 20 plus, and so I think it really depends on you know, what your strategy is, you know, while trying to pass it. But pretty even distribution. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. A lot of you guys took, you know, 5 plus, which is, I think, would make sense. But 20 plus, you know, if you are more than 20 evals in Apex, you're in good company. And these are like just to get funded like one time, you know, maybe people got funded one time, they continue to buy more evals. Especially when you have the 50% off code. It's very helpful. I think it gives peace of mind to people who are like still trying to get their funded account. They're like wondering, why can't I get funded? Why is it taking so long? Or why is it so hard? I'm already on my like 5th try, and you see that people are like 20 plus tries, and it's pretty common, especially because it's so cheap. All right, so no follow through on this reversal trade here, and we might get another push up here. Don't know if I want a higher low setup here. Just waiting, looking for a setup, higher low setup possibly here. Notice on the higher time frames we are hitting the top of the trading range, and we are kind of creating a fail second just short here, right, with a third push up. The 5-minute chart showing us a two-legged move right into resistance. Of course, he says company got 20 new PC and I'm treating all of them boring day. The way I'm interpreting this is that you're saying your company got 20 new PCs and you're setting them up all day. I don't know. That's how I interpreted that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not entirely exactly sure what you're trying to tell me. But I guess sucks. Whatever the case, seems like it's boring. I'm gonna mark these gaps here. $10,000 tick might come back to 20 MA, and the 10,000 tick might just be a two-leggy back up to the top. It might create two-leggy back to the bottom. Huge gap on the 5-minute chart. Gap here as well. So I'll figure out where the gap is, and then we'll say this area here could be a buy zone. This blue box. He's treating the 20 new PCs to lunch. Very nice. What is going on?
$10,000 tick trap.
We got you. We got you. No problem. No problem. Too leggy on the 10,000 tick chart. I'll make a long here, but it's just not enough room. See, this is starting to create trading range. It's not enough room to the top of the trading range. It's like not even a point. It's not even worth it, in my opinion. Full Sublime as what trade copy do I use? I use the one that's on Apex. What a move, right? Top of the trading range, small team trading range, but also outside bar reversal. And we're going to try to fill this gap here, in my opinion. Fill these gaps here below. Maybe I'll create these as buy zones here. It's just not really pleasant to trade here. Limit order market. Hitting our first buy zone here, and this is a two-leggy. Also, a break of trend to new low. Higher time frame. It's already a two-legged move. A, B, C. So I asked why this is a gap. Gaps are formed when there's a strong move up and the pullback doesn't fill, right? Doesn't come back to the breakout area, which is the top, in this case, the top of the signal bar. And the signal bar is the bar before the big move up. So this is the signal bar here. And so there's a gap. Well, at the time there was a gap right before this price action, but let's say it looked like this, right? There was a gap here like this. Right? You see how this pullback doesn't come and touch that break, the top of that the signal bar here, which is this is the signal bar. It should have came back to the top to retest it. Instead, pushes up higher. So there's a gap here. Gap is filled now. But typically, you'll call this area a place where you could potentially buy. So, some aggressive traders will buy here. I'll probably sit on my pause, wait for a entire setup here that I would look for. Fail second entry short. That's the highest probable setup you can have in these reversal areas, and that's what I'm looking for. $20 EMA. Balancing off the 20 EMA here on the higher time frame. Again, if you want to know what time frame I'm using, you look at the top left of your screen. We get fail second short here, it'd be nice, but price action is not looking too pretty for us right now. As you notice, we're in a limit order market. The moment you see like candles basically reversing at the top or on the closes, so here's a close of this bar, right? Reverses back up. The close of this bar reverses back down. When you just start to see that, that's how you know you're entering into a limit order market, and that's what's happening here. And so people who are making money are those who are selling at the top of the bars and buying at the bottom of the bars. And so you're entering a limit order market, which is annoying when you have a strategy that requires you to enter in with stop orders. And so we're just kind of, just waiting to see what happens. But regardless, my setup's the same. I'm looking for a fail second short here. Just waiting. Whew. Yeesh. $240 SMA may act as support here. Still waiting. I mean, I don't have much here. I'm just watching this go and seeing what happens. Filling this next gap here. Still a small gap. See how it is a breakout here? This breakout never came back to retest the top of the signal bar, which is this bar, the bar before the breakout. Fills the gap perfectly. Islam asks why the 240 SMA. It's kind of difficult to explain, but basically on the 5-minute chart, the 240 SMA, which is what you see here, is the 20 SMA on the hourly chart. And so typically there's a lot of reactions off of that hourly 20 SMA. So we like to have it on the 5-minute chart. But because markets are so balanced, that 240 SMA actually is useful in all time frames. And that's the only reason why, really. Al Brooks uses it, so I'll use it. He uses it on his chart, so I'll use it on every chart. But I don't know. You can make a case to take it off. You don't have to have it. I mean, for me, I like to have it because usually around the areas, you know, where you see the convergence of the 20 EMA and the 240 SMA, you'll see things like this happen as it coils between the two. So here was another buy zone. But no setups for me whatsoever. So I'm just sitting on my pause. Let's see if a measure move was made. Measure move pretty much hit almost to the T. Missed it by 1 tick here. We're getting closer and closer to our 10,000 subs on this channel, and I am so excited for that because it means I get an opportunity to bless you guys who've been blessing me so much the last 2 years while streaming. And you know, it's a chance for I can give back to you guys, really, because you guys are the reason why I still do this. Getting choppy, another limit order market, right? Limit order market here turns to another limit order market here. If you look at the higher time frames, we're resting comfortably on the 20 EMA 10,000 tick chart. Also, when you bounce on the top of a trading range like this, you're wondering, are we going to reverse back to the bottom of the trading range, which would not be a surprise. To me, this is a buy zone in the 5-minute chart. I feel like we're going to come back down to it. Overlapping bars, this is where you just sit on your pause, wait for the market to be a little more clear. Just watching this measure move hit here from top of this to down here to top of the pullback. It's down here, measure move hit. We're also near in the buy area here. See if the 5-minute buy zone's been hit. About 1 tick away. 1 tick away from that buy area. Makes you eager to want to jump in soon. Okay. Obviously not a buy area because of the reaction there. $10,000 tick chart. It's just moving on down. 5 minute finally touches 20 MA. Also the buy area. 4 pushes down could lead to an H4 setup. Typically 4 pushes down creates nice reversals. Still, my setup is the same. It has not changed. I am waiting for a failed second entry short to possibly go long here, and that's my only setup really, and I've been waiting for it. What durations? I look at the 2,000 tick, 10,000 tick, 5 minute chart, and also the daily, just to get a big picture. Like what's like when you look at the daily chart, you can have like the possibility of a certain kind of day based on a daily chart. People ask why do I use the 2K chart and the 10,000 tick chart. Again, you have to know the market is balanced, and so these ratios work across all time frames because the market is also fractal, and so very popular time frames to use is the daily chart and the weekly chart. And so the ratio between the daily and the weekly is 1 to 5. And so typically if you want to find like a higher time frame of whatever chart you're looking at, you multiply by 5, and that kind of gives you the bigger picture. And so if you're using 2,000 tick chart, this is why they use the 10,000 tick chart, because it helps me see that the higher time frame kind of setups and market cycles. So Derek Nider says, can you share why you're looking for a second entry short failure instead of the second entry short itself? That's always the battle, right? That's always a battle that we have to face. Are we looking for the second entry or the failed second entry? And you can even go as far as finding the failed second entries. But I'm looking for here because we have a break of trend to new low, and this new low is created with 4 pushes down. The 4 pushes down is coming off of perhaps the 240 SMA and also some buy areas in the higher time frames. But I will need my setup here because mostly we got a break of trend to new low, 4 pushes down, and we typically find reversals in these areas. Now you could also say, well, it just looks like a strong downtrend. Let's just go into every second entry short here, which is also your prerogative. And so this is always a dilemma in any setup. So we'll see here what happens. Possible second entry short here. All right, we'll wait. Also notice, since I find the breaker trend to new low here, what that ends up becoming is on a 10,000 tick chart, it's just a two-legged pullback, right? And so when I enter the trap trade on the 2,000 tick chart, I will probably enter the second entry long trade on a 10,000 tick chart somewhere around the same time. But I mean, it looks like a trading range type day. I mean, if I were to say where does it go, it seems like back to the bottom of this trading range. Good signal bar on the 10,000 tick chart. Most likely will enter with the outside bar reversal. If I'm really eager, I'll enter on the break of the inside bar here. But the 20 EMA, okay. Well, we got our setup here, potentially. Fail second entry long or short. That's what I'm looking for. I've been looking for this for a long time now. Now we're beneath the 20 EMA, pretty far beneath it, and this signal bar is creating large risk for us. And so you can think, to abort this trade because of all those factors. It's like, okay, this is too much risk for me. I don't like this trade. If you want to enter it, maybe come with a retracement. But, strong bear bar ending on its low, so we might even get our trap trade. But if you want to enter this trade, you might think, okay, we're beneath the 20 EMA now. The 20 EMA is still, pointing downwards. And so this trap may not be the best trap to take. And, you have all the reasons you could possibly come up with. Traders are currently being trapped right now, possibly. I'd be sweating right now if I went short there. I'm going to try to reduce my risk to 3 points here. So I'm going to come with a retracement here if I can, if this does trigger. I'm going to try to come with a retracement here. So my risk is only 3 points instead of 4 points. And if I don't get the retracement, then so be it. But it is what it is. The risk is just a little too much for me at 4 points, 4.5 points basically. I want a small retracement here if I can get it, but it might go on without me. But the trap does trigger. And so the setup we waited for actually happened. And happened at, for all the reasons why I mentioned. So I'm looking for a small retracement here, and we may get it here. Touches it, bounces. Okay, I'm in this trade now, pandas. And my risk now is only 3 points instead of the 4 points that would be. And see if I can get 2 points here with that retracement. Just watching. It looks like I'm gonna get it. I hope. Gives me a micro double top. I don't like that at all. Micro double top currently. Don't like the micro double top, but we shall see. Let's go, baby. Easy peasy, easy money. Let's go, baby. So I came with a retracement, came in with less risk, and also, ends up being a nice little push up here. So this trap happens around the same time as a second entry long on the 10,000 tick chart, as you guys can see. And so you kind of want that confluence, right? The traps typically, we have a breaker trend to new low, essentially on the 2,000 tick chart. On the 10,000 tick chart, it's just a two-legged pullback. And so, that's kind of what you want to happen, especially in key area, 20 EMA. It's a nice setup, actually, at the end. If I had a runner, I'll still be in the runner here. Let's go, baby. Felt good. You know, we calculated that as well for a long period of time. We kind of foresaw that, anticipated that trap. And the thing is like, if you're not anticipating that, you might have entered short there and not thinking of the reversal. The risk, of course, is this. You might miss this trade. You might miss this downtrend. But I think with the H4 setup, you know, also coming on the 5-minute, right, that buy area, just tapping the top of the buy area, also the 20 MA on the 5-minute chart. It's just a nice combination of things right there. So these setups we're looking for, hopefully the probability will be about at least 80%. We want to have at least an 80% win rate. Around 80% is, you know, you kind of at least be little profitable, pretty close to break even. But 90% is typical we look for the win rate in this strategy. Now you're kind of sad that I didn't hold longer. Like, but what can you do? Quite a strong move up here, actually. Makes me wonder what's happening. Pandas, make sure you guys scalp that like button. If you've been viewing a while from now, enjoying this content, would appreciate it. Up 200. You know, the beautiful thing is when you're up 200 with the amount of accounts I have with Apex, it's like you far exceeded, you know, the goal that you need to make some life-changing money. The daily goal has already been met, far surpassed it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to know how many counts I have, we had the pre-market show for anyone who wants to know. But the pre-market show, I pretty much show everything. I show all my off-stream trades. I kind of go over them in the pre-market. If you guys don't know, there's a pre-market show at 9 o'clock Eastern time. It might be too early for some of you guys, but in the pre-market show, I turn all my markers on. You know, you can see the markers here where I buy and buy here, but you know, I have an account that I trade solely for stream only, and so you know, you can see, you know, the progress on that account to see like, oh, am I actually profitable even on stream? And so, you know, I have an account for that, but I have many other accounts that I trade off stream where I turn all the markers on. You can see all my trades that I take, and you can also see all my account balances. You don't hide anything, and you can see all my the amount of accounts I have, of course, but it's all there for anyone who wants to join the pre-market show. And I don't know any person on stream who really is doing that. I don't know, you know, but you know, that's available for you guys if you guys want it. What am I looking for here? Am I looking for a failed breakout coming back into the trading range here? Huh. 4 pushes up. Lower high setup. Hard to say. Outside bar reversal. You know, are you looking for a 2-leggy here? A, B, C to continue the uptrend? Is this what you're looking for? Give me a 1 in the chat if this is what you're looking for. If you're looking for a long trade right now. Give me a 2 if you're looking for a short trade. Because you can also see this as a break of this trading range coming back into the trading range here with a lower high setup. Kind of tough. Kind of tough. I don't know. Some people are saying this is obvious. This is enough evidence that we are in a long trade. The funny thing is, it actually creates an outside bar reversal. So it basically makes a second entry long here. It's a hidden second entry long. What I mean by hidden is that within one bar, you basically have 2 reversals. You have this downtrend, then you have a reversal up, then a reversal down, right? Because you broke the previous candle's low. So you actually have a second entry long here. This is a hidden second entry long. Do I like it? I'm not taking that, but I'm just saying that's what happened. This is why those hidden second entry longs are tricky. It's not looking too good right now if you are in that long. Somewhere in the rocks asks, how do you become a member? There's a link in the description. Also, if you just open the chat or the channel, you should see like a join, join button or become a member button, something like that. Yeah, thoughts and prayers for those who went long here. But I mean, it might work out. It looks like, starting to create a limit order market again, as you guys can see. People are selling, a couple ticks above the previous candle's high. And they're selling. That's the only way this price action can happen, if there are sellers, 3 ticks above this one, or 2 ticks above this one, 3 ticks above this one, 1 tick above this one. So you see this limit order kind of market starting to appear here. It's getting confusing, kind of choppy. Market's getting a little confused. I believe also if you have an iPad, it might not work, or if you're kind of blacklisted on YouTube, you might not see that button, but yeah. The final result of the poll, a lot of people have 20 plus accounts. Kind of surprised. It's pretty close. And that's just passing at one time. That's not how many accounts you have. That's how many attempts it took to pass it. And some people took 20 times. I will say this though, if you're gonna use Apex, please use the coupon to help yourself. Right, so the second entry long does, the hidden second entry long does work out for you, but that's kind of stressful when you see a bar like this. Somewhere in the Rockies. How many times did it take you to pass the first
10,000
time?
tick trap.
I passed a 300k count on my, or 150k count on my second attempt. 300k count took me like once or twice, I think. Yeah. But I would say my experience probably was not common. You know, a lot of people. I've been training for a long time, so passing the evals was not as, let's say, it was very doable for me, the evals. I mean, they're still very doable. This is why I have so many PA counts. So this is, you know, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. So. This looks like it wants to come up back to this high here. Let me see if there's any like areas here where it would be obvious place to sell. Might be creating a double top here. There is a second entry long forming here. I don't know if I like it though. It is above the 20 MA. You can see it's a second entry long because it's a dark green number. And it's also a trap trade, right? So it's a Pikachu. We call these Pikachus. It's a trap, fail second entry short at the same time. It's a second entry long. The second entry long is here. A, B, C. Second entry long. But the fail second entry short is A, B, C, and it fails to make a scalper's profit, and it might reverse. So you can see here, it looks like a lightning bolt type situation, and you know, or the shape of the tail of a Pikachu. If you guys don't know, the shape of the tail of the Pikachu is a lightning bolt. So the Pikachu is about to trigger here. Do I like it? Not really. I'm a little confused at the moment. I see a double top currently. I do see we're clearly above the 20 MA. It does seem like we're currently in an uptrend, right, with this push up. And we're finding ourselves like kind of like bouncing off the top of this trading range. But do I like this second entry long? I see reasons to go long, but I feel like the percentage is like maybe like 70% for me. It just seems like a little. For instance, something like this. You know, you have a strong trend up, two-legged pullback. That's kind of what I'm looking for, right? A two-legged pullback that looks like this. The problem with this two-legged pullback is it created also a double top. So it's just a little hard for me to. It might be a double top. You know, it could just be a double top and that's it. But don't know. Says maybe try a range of 80% off Apex, maybe 75% off customer. There's some YouTubers that are doing that. I'm just saying right now, you know, just be ready for a treat for the 10,000 sub special. It's gonna be like something you've never seen before from any other YouTuber. I'll just say that much.
5-minute trap.
Getting confusing. 10,000 tick chart is something very interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. In fact, it makes me kind of almost angry. But basically creates a trap trade to the downside. That trap fails. That fails, right? 2 outside bar reversals, right? So you have this trap here that triggers, thinking we're going to push down. This comes up. Actually, well, technically you didn't get stopped out, but it goes one tick above, goes below, and goes below here. So if you went long here, you just got stopped out. So it's a little tricky on a 10,000 tick chart, 5,000 or 5 minute chart. Let's get the 5 minute. Yeah, 5 minute chart's also a little undecided. Could create a two-leggy on the 5 minute. A, B, C. Second entry long on the 5 minute chart. Ooh, trap trade about to trigger on the 2K chart. It's just absolutely confusing for me. I'm just not exactly sure what's happening. It's a little too much overlap of the price action, and I'm probably gonna sit on my pause here. It's a little too confusing for me, but you know, thoughts and prayers to anyone entering here. Trap does trigger. I kind of like the trap trade. You know, I'm a sucker for these traps, so I'm inclined to take this trap to go short here, come back into our trading range. But in general, I'm just a little too confused, so I'm just gonna sit on my pause. Like, I'm not exactly clear. It could be like this, could be a breaker trend and double top. Your attempted new high ends up being a double top, and you know, this ends up working out, but it's just kind of difficult for me to have made a trade at the time. Okay, so it comes to the top of trading, back to the bottom of trading range. So this double top ends up being an actual double top. Kind of amazing. Alright, pandas. I think I wanted to see the outcome of that last trade, but you know, it's 10:50, so we're gonna call it here. Pandas, hey, we're green on the day. You know, I got my bamboo. And you know, I hope everyone trades safe. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, so we get closer to that 10K special. And yeah, as always, happy trading. God bless. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow, 9:15 for the mainstream, 9 o'clock for the pre-market show. And yeah, see you then. Bye.